Godwin got married to his wife Ruth. Ruth is a very beautiful and hard-working woman who has treated and handled her family with love and care. Ruth had 4 girls for her husband. He loved his daughters and cared for them, but one thing is missing, and had made him feel incomplete. Godwin didn't have a male child, and this had always given him sleepless nights as he was worried his Lena is going to end when he is no more. Godwin gave this a deep thought and concluded he was going to take a second wife. He called Ruth, his wife, to discuss this with her. Ruth declined the idea immediately. She didn't want to share her marriage with any woman. She kicked against the idea, but Godwin didn't listen to her. He forwarded his decision to marry a second wife. Ruth wasn't happy to see Margaret married into her home at all, but she couldn't stop her husband. After some months, Ruth became pregnant and bared him twins, a male and a female child. Godwin was very happy, he thought. Now I can be a happy man. He was overwhelmed and thought he never made a mistake taking this decision at first. Ruth, on the other hand, isn't happy at all. She did all she could to deny Margaret her happiness and comfortability, even though Godwin tried as much as to provide for the both parties and their kids. Years passed and Ruth's daughters grew into full-grown women as well as Margaret twins. Godwin was very happy to see his children grow before his eyes, especially his son Johnson. Few years later, suitors started coming to ask for Margaret's daughter Juliet hand in marriage. Juliet accepted the marriage proposal, and her suitors promised to come and perform the necessary rites.
Before they take their wife home, Margaret and her daughter Juliet went to buy all the necessary things that would be needed to entertain their guests. Ruth wasn't happy with the present development. How can she get married before my daughters? She thought. She kept on thinking of how she could stop the marriage from taking place. She then came up with the idea of going to a traditionalist who gave her some charms to put in Juliet's bathing water. After doing as she was instructed by the Ma, when the day of the marriage came, everything was set. The food and drinks were all ready. Everyone was set to welcome the in-laws, including Juliet and her mother. Time passed and no sign of them. It's getting dark already, yet they hadn't come. Juliet became worried. She started crying and her mother kept consoling her. The day passed and no one saw them. Not even word from the man and his family, and everything ended just that way. Juliet couldn't bear this. She wept and cried every day, and she then decided to take her own life. While her mother went to the market, she took some pills and ended her life. When her mother came home, she wept and cried so much. When Godwin saw his daughter had died, Godwin slumped and was rushed to the hospital. There he was confirmed dead by the doctor. Margaret couldn't take this. She thought of how she could find out whose hands are behind her daughter's misfortunes. She was directed by a friend to go to one of the most wicked fetish men. It took Margaret so much time to accept to go. On getting there, Margaret found out her co-wife did everything, so she has been the problem all these while she cried. Now Margaret was given an option to take a revenge. She angrily asked the man to cast a spell on Ruth's daughters. I want the 4 of them to remain single for the rest of their lives, and as for Ruth, I want her dead, she said to the man angrily. The man did exactly as he was told and Margaret went home. Few days later, Ruth fell sick and died. Her children wept and cried, but their tears would never bring back their mother. Years passed, and there were no suitors coming for them. They continued to grow older and older every single day.